Hi everyone, welcome to Colour Arte by Christine. How you guys doing today? Okay, so today is part 2 of how to make coasters from start to finish. Today's video will cover resin basics and how to put the cork on the back, how to keep it from fraying because cork likes to fray. Go over all those little details. If you have any questions and I forgot something, please comment below and I will do my best to answer all of your questions. I also want to mention that I am going to be doing the subscriber giveaway because I've reached 4,000 subscribers. And if you leave a comment either on this video or on part 1, either one, I'm going to group them together. I'm going to do a drawing on the next video where the winner will, of course, win some coasters. And they will be the coasters, 2 of the coasters that I've made in this video grouping. And don't panic, because when you first see these coasters dry, they look atrocious because of, well, we're going to get into all that, but they look fine in the end after the resin is done. I did encounter a little bit of a problem when I was using the bobby pin the last video, and since then, I mean, I'm not for sure that it was the bobby pin, but I'm gonna be addressing that in the future. But anyway, the resin did save the day, 90%. And anyway, I don't want to go on about it because we all make mistakes. One other quick thing I wanted to mention, that I'm not sure if you guys have noticed in my intros that there's a painting behind me that just magically changes every time I say hi on the new video. If there's a painting hanging behind me, it's for sale. So this one was at the restaurant my husband works at, and I recently brought it home because I put a different one in its place. And so yeah, if you're interested, comment or get in touch with me, and you know, we can exchange emails or something like that. Thanks for all the love and support, everybody. Make sure you ask questions if you have any, and subscribe if you haven't, and let's get down to making resin coasters. Okay, hi everyone. So I'm getting ready to resin the coasters, and I wanted to show you guys the entire process for resin. We're the resin portion of the making of the coasters, and I am using today Pro Marine tabletop epoxy. So there's part A, which is the epoxy, and then part B, which is the hardener. Okay, they have to be equal parts, and then you stir. So that's what I'm gonna work on now. Now I have 8 coasters, and the last time I did coasters, I made too much resin. So I'm gonna go with a less amount this time. Now this is a cup, okay, from Home Depot, and it has right here, it says 1-to-1 ratio, okay? So for today, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna see that number 2 right there. I'm gonna fill part A to the 2, and then here's the second 2, and that's gonna be equal parts for part B. So part A to there, A and 2, which gives me, well, I'm not sure the amounts, but this container has never failed me, and the resin has always been good. The problem could be if you accidentally don't put enough hardener in, then your resin won't harden and you wind up with a mess. So go very slow with your measurements. It's very important that you get them right. Don't put anything in it until it's completely measured, because that could throw your measurement off. Make sure you wear your gloves and mask. I went a little over on the 2, so I'm going to make sure that I go over that same amount with the hardener. Okay, that looks about perfect. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this whole stirring process. I'm gonna speed it up super fast. And you want this to stir this for 3 minutes. You wanna scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, go around and around and around till your arm's completely tired. So here's the first 2 tiles. I'm gonna go 2 at a time and then I'm gonna set them aside. And again, maybe from this viewpoint, you guys can really see these grooves. I am going to be addressing that. I used the bobby pin with the ball. I think that might have something to do with this. I think next time I'm going to use a toothpick or something thinner, so just to try to avoid that. But I planned on resining these all along, so hopefully it won't look bad once there's resin on it. Continuing on. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna put on that amount. That probably is a little too much. I am gonna pour some of that on one of these other guys over here, because I definitely pour too much. Okay, so I like to use a gloved finger and spread it around. You don't need a thick coat. A thin coat works, but you need to get your edges. Okay, and so this guy, girl, looks more like a girl, doesn't it? So that resin will fill in those grooves. But I wasn't anticipating that issue, and I don't know. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see, there's a lot of air bubbles. That's totally normal and expected. So when you torch, okay, you want to hold your flame above it. It doesn't take a lot to get those bubbles. You don't want to touch the flame to the resin at all. And as you can see, they pop very quickly and easily. You want to make sure that you get them all, even the ones on the side, because that is a good resin job. See? Double check all my sides. And I'm going to put these aside. The next 2. Here we go. I still have the tape on the back from when I initially did the first painting. I didn't retape, I just left it on there. And when these hit 8 hours of drying, they won't be completely dry, but dry enough to take the tape off easily. It's self-leveling. And it helps to look at it sideways. It really, really does, because sideways you can see, you gotta look at it, you know. I like to resin in front of a window because when you're looking at it from the top, you don't see things. When you look at it from the side, you see everything. How's that look? That looks pretty beautiful. Oh, see, now I just noticed on this one over here that I missed a spot. See, right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. So, the resin just for some reason didn't go to that spot. I'm going to make sure, you know, I go over everything again and again before I walk away from the table, because I almost always miss something that I catch later. And then just from touching it, you could have put some bubbles in it, so retorch. Okay, so here's one. I put a little resin on that before. It's got a little resin there. I don't love the marker job on this one, but you know, you can't love them all. I'm going to put a little bit more. Feels just a little thin. Now this particular resin, if you guys are shopping for resin, I just want to say is not my 100% favorite. I had it in the house. My husband paints on surfboards, and we had this in the house for when he's done with the painting on the surfboard, and then we put a big resin coat over it. And but it does work, and it's heat resistant. I double checked. Before you make coasters, you want to make sure the resin's heat resistant. Okay, how's that look? Looks pretty good. So although it's filling in the grooves I mean, they still look pretty. Don't get me wrong. I'm being super nitpicky. I know it. But I always want everything to be as close to perfect as possible. Now, just note to self, I could have gone with a 1-to-1, and instead I filled it to 2-to-2 because I've got a bunch left over. Okay, there you go. There's all 8. I'm going to go find something to put this next resin on so I don't waste it. The other thing you always want to keep in mind is any kind of flying insects in the house could land in the resin. So if you have a resin net or some type of a net that you can put over your resin pieces while they're drying, that's always helpful. I don't have one. I just always cross my fingers and, you know, hope. And I yell at the kids to shut the door. There's resin drying. So, you know, that's kind of what I do for that. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna wait for those to dry, and then I'm gonna show you guys the process of putting cork on the back. Okay. Okay, so here we are. Everything is done. The tape is off, and it's time to put the cork backing on there. Now I have this big roll of cork. I got this at Michael's for $16 plus my 20% off coupon, so it really wasn't that much considering how many coasters I can do. I mean, I haven't done the math or anything like that, but it'd be, you know, a good amount. Anyway, let's talk about the resin. And 2 of these had a little issues. This one, can you guys see right there? There's just like a hole. Now, if I loved this tile a lot, see, now you can see there's the, right there. Which I don't, because of the markings that I put on it. I would just go ahead and do a second coat on this before I put corking backing on it, okay? But I'm just gonna leave it out of the pile. And like if I ever find myself with extra resin, like happened the other day, then I would just grab that tile and pour it over it. Now this guy, something happened to this. Something dropped on it while it was drying. So you guys can see right there. What I'm gonna do, because this is a really pretty tile, is I'm going to sand it and put a second coat over it. So again, and then like my edge right here needs a little bit of love too, a little bit more resin, okay? So, believe it or not, talking to you guys while I'm doing resin, I'm not as focused and concentrated. So, you know, that's okay though. that's a super easy fix. So anyway, this one's not going to get cork backing today. So regarding the craters, and like this one looks really cool, okay? This one looks really, really cool. The resin came out great. It filled in the craters. It's not that noticeable. And that's the case with most of these. I'm not gonna say it's not noticeable at all, because it is, especially to me, because I know it's there. So I went out and I got myself some toothpicks, and next time I do these, I'm gonna, if I do swirls again, which I will because it's super fun, I'm gonna not sink it so hard and see if that makes a big difference. Also, regarding the white cell reactor that I used. Now on this tile, you can see the cells, but the other tiles, it's not as defined. Here, let me find a sweet spot here. They're there, okay, but they're not very defined. See, here they are right here, really pretty. But a lot of that cell reactor kind of sunk down and almost disappeared. So I'm okay with not having cells as long as the design looks good. But like this one looks really, really good. This one's my favorite of the batch, I think. Well, maybe that one too. All right, anyway, on with it. Stop yakking, and just show you guys real quick how to put corking on the back. Okay. One thing I did try that I'm just going to go ahead and tell you don't bother with was I had done this with a razor knife, which you think that would be really easy and fast. Maybe because my blade wasn't, I mean, my blade was pretty sharp. It shredded it, and I wound up having to use the scissors to get rid of like the shredded edge. I mean, it is cork, so scissors seem to work better for me. Now I'm gonna have to trim these down a little bit more, okay? Because I don't like to see the cork from the top. See how you can kind of see it right there? So I'm going to trim this down with my scissors just so it's completely under the tile. So first I'm going to do this. We're going to double check the shape. I like to put the contour this way because then when it's drying, I don't know, it's just my preference. So So I am going to be putting these up for sale at my Etsy shop. And if any of you guys want to go to the link in my description box and look at them or purchase them, that would be wonderful. Now that I've pointed out every freaking flaw in them. And the cork is a little bit messy because it oops. See how it ripped right there? So I'm going to show you guys. Let's make that edge real clean. When I'm gluing it, what I do for that edge, so it doesn't happen after someone purchases it. Okay, so a little bit of edge needs to go there, so it's kind of hanging off. See that right there? So I'm just going to take it out and eyeball it. Check it again. So ultimately, it's like that. Okay, this could even be, well, I'm just going to adjust it. Yeah. See, that's just a little bit close to the edge. So I'm being picky, but you know, I feel like that's almost hanging over that corner there. So get rid of that guy. Yeah, that one looks really good. That one's ready. So I'm going to sit here and fiddle with all these and get them ready for glue. So I do these 2 at a time, just faster that way. And I have this huge thing of Elmer's glue all because when I was painting for cells, I would use this for cells. But if I had a small school glue squirter thing, it would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? But this works too. Just got to be careful how much you put on there. So there's no real trick to this, except, you know, you just want a thin coat. Also, because the cork tends to shred, let me flip it around so you can see. I put a little coat on the edge. So then when the whole thing dries, that won't come off anymore. It kind of seals that cork from shredding. A little bit of glue right there. All around. Okay. I'm going to press that down in a minute after I do this one. Oh. I feel like I'm making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Getting that glue up on the edge. And learn these little tricks after you do a few batches of these things. And yeah. Okay, I need to get a wet rag. Hold on. I don't really want glue on my fingers, and I don't want glue on the backs. So what you want to do is you really just want to make sure it's square. First few I did, and just press down. And then this guy is going to go right on top. Make sure it's square. Get any glue off of it. Make sure it's square. Yep. Put these over here to dry. Start on the next two. You guys, if you do go to my Etsy shop, I have been severely neglecting it. So I don't want to get your hopes up that there's anything really great in it. I'm obviously going to be putting more stuff in it now that I'm back to painting again. I like creating and making stuff, and the whole sales part of the job is, it sucks. I mean, I know that's a strong word. It's like uploading the pictures and keeping up with all of that business part of it to try to make money. I'm really terrible at it, and I just like to create stuff, and I wish I had like someone to do all that other stuff for me, but I don't. It's a one-woman job, you know. So if you want to get it done, you gotta do it yourself. And so many people say to me, it's kind of annoying about just, you know, put all your stuff at the art festival, and, you know, and they don't realize how much work those things are. I mean, you have to rent the booth and buy a tent and have displays, shelving, not to mention you need to have, you know, 20 or 30 good sized canvases, you want varying sizes of everything, and that sounds so much like work to me. It's like, I just like to have a few pieces here and there that I would like to sell, And these dry really fast overnight and they're ready to go. So there's my stack. And I might just go ahead and put a book on top. Or these guys right here, put one of these on top because I'm not putting just something to make sure. So there you go. There you have it. These will be ready to go. Tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, so I wanted to show you guys my idea. Let me move these. I'll show you my idea. Okay, so here's the idea. Okay, so essentially it's just a box, like a little display box, and these are all the coasters that I'm selling. These two look similar, so I tied them together and just kind of did that, you know, with a lot of these coasters that I've made. Here's some that aren't tied up. You know, these. Alexa, stop. My chicken's done. Chicken breast. And yeah, so these cute little bundles, and put them inside this box, kind of like this, as a display. And then I got this cute little sign right here that says hand painted coasters by local artist Christine Morris. And we have a lot of gift shops in our town because, you know, it's Port Orange is where I live. It's right next door to Daytona Beach, and New Smyrna is right up the street as well. So I am going to go to the gift shops and see if the gift shop owners would be interested in, you know, selling them. You know, put this little box. Look how cute these are. Okay, I'm putting these in my Etsy shop, guys, and you should check it out. Anyway, kind of like that, and just fill it up and then see what happens. See, the great thing about that to me is there's no shipping. You know, I don't have to box anything up. I mean, I don't really mind boxing things up because I have all the stuff, but it would be a heck of a lot easier. Yeah. So anyway, it's an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. So cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, everybody. So it's time for the close-ups. Yay! And they're finished. Corking's on there really good. No shredded edges. So I'm going to number these. And the reason is I want whoever wins the giveaway can pick 2. This will be number 1. And then you can just tell me which number you like. Oh my gosh. Now see, I was pretty scared when I saw those craters. Is that a fingerprint? Yeah. It's just a little smudge on there. Anyway, okay. So there's number 1. And its sister right here is number 2. Getting that sparkle. Number 2. Pretty. Number 3. So pretty. Number 4. This one's so pretty. Love these colors together. And that's sparkle. Number 5. This one is so pretty and is my favorite of the batch, but I will give it to the winner if they choose. Number 6. I put a quick video of the making of this one on my TikTok and it got like 1,600 views. People liked it. So isn't that kind of funny? And then, but see, I think this one is prettier than that one. It only got 200 views. Not that I'm counting. But I love this one. The red is really, really pretty. And that's it, because I'm not putting the 8th one. That one isn't even worth giving away. I don't like it very much anyway. So I just want to show you guys the finished coasters. Woohoo! Yay! And the crowd goes wild.